me tell you something. Let me say this. I'm not a referee. So I'm gonna get off the phone right now. Listen to me. I'm gonna get off the phone right now, and I'm gonna let you professionals look at the situation.
Hey everybody, what's up? My name is LA. I am unable to sleep. It is 1:30 in the morning and I decided to watch Sean Combs' The Reckoning. So since I'm here, I figured you might as well do it with me. I just popped it on. I'm only gonna watch episode 1 right now. So let's see. I'm about 4 minutes in and I remember when people were assuming that 50 Cent was trolling when he said he was going to release a Diddy documentary. And what happened was 50 was waiting on the trial to end, which I think is important so you can get the full picture. And had it been released prior to the trial, I wonder how that would have affected the public's perception, even during the trial, and how they perceived Cassie as a victim, et cetera, et cetera. But we're, like I said, just 5 minutes in. And at the top of this, at the start of this, there is footage from Diddy, like a documentary he maybe was filming on his own. There is so much there's so much intimate footage at the beginning that is absolutely from Diddy's camp. And what some people are speculating is that the videographer that he hired to start this documentary and maybe this like PR campaign to revamp his image is from a videographer that was just not paid. Like everybody else in Diddy's life, they were just done wrong, swindled, bamboozled by Diddy. So let's keep going. There is Kalina, who has been a problematic person for quite some time. I remember when the case first kind of opened up with the video from the hotel with Cassie. This guy, um, before he could even apologize, like Kalina was standing up for him. Kalina Harper from Making the Band, and she was in Last Train to Paris. I forget the name of the group that Kalina and Dawn and Diddy formed. It was called Kalina Harper was in a group with Diddy and Dawn Richard called Dirty Money. hmm Yeah, I don't. There are people who are never satiated, never satisfied. It reminds me of a lot of people in this. Um, mm, that's an interest. You know what? On my page and on my channel, I talk a lot about the dynamics and relationships between Black men and Black women. But if you think about the behavior of a Diddy, it aligns itself with supremacy. With supremacy, it aligns itself with supremacy, and it is it's seamless. It's seamless. It's always this someone else's fault. It's always this I've done nothing wrong. It's always that was the past. It's always a different narrative than the truth. it's always a different narrative than the truth. And that is so interesting. But I see they got everybody on here. Eric Sermon, Mark Curry, Kalina Harper. I am so interested in who filmed this intimate Diddy footage. I would love to know who that person is and what they still have. Because I'm sure some of what they have is was not sold yet. I think that's interesting to figure out. Well, but to me, Diddy is he gives. Mm, so the co-founder of Bad Boy is here, but I wonder why he's not famous. I wonder why he's not. His name is Kirk Burrows. I've never even heard of this person, but it's very interesting because why is he not famous too? I was watching Blue Talisma last night, and she was talking about how Diddy was masterfully able to kind of destiny swap with people so often. And interestingly enough, I don't know if that's true, but I feel like destiny swapping is like a new age kind of term. Diddy was just a swagger jacker. She said that's the word. I mean, like, you know what I mean? I don't think he was skillful in this is going to be my life now. I think he was skillful in copying and stealing and just being a horrible human being. I thought Heavy D was a brilliant artist. Heavy D and the boys. I forgot about the boys. Wow, this is pretty cool. But they're showing video of Heavy D, and I thought he was such an amazing talent. If you don't know who Heavy D is, listen, just go to your Apple Music or something. He was such an amazing talent, and he seemed like a lighthearted person, like very fun, very cool. And I just adored this man. I really, really did. I thought he was just an incredibly looking man, a great performer. I don't know anything else about Heavy D. Listen, if there is more that I don't know about Heavy D, I don't want to learn it right now. I'm just watching the video. I'm just watching the video. So let me share this guy with you guys. Does everybody remember Heavy D? I thought he was amazing.
The only entrance into hip hop at that point was Andre Harrell and Russell Simmons into the corporate hip hop world, into the money. So and impressed Andre
It's also interesting, this history on Diddy. I'm glad I'm watching it because I'm going to tell you guys something that nobody really, maybe, I don't think many people know about me, is that the thing about me is that I'm very particular about what I put into what I consume. Very, very particular about what I consume. And because I know the way my mind and body processes things. I've studied my body immensely. I know what my emotional triggers are. I know what my body holds on to as far as like sodium and water weight and what foods trigger my allergies. I know every single thing about myself. I'm very self-absorbed and self-aware. So I was mindful of consuming this documentary because I didn't know if his darkness was something I wanted to watch.
Weird in the air because everyone knew this was Al girl. Al is hot as fish grease right now. Hi, this is Al Be Sure. Here's my exclusive number. $2 for the first minute, 45 cents for each additional minute.
I'll Be Sure and Diddy's first love, Kim Porter, had a child together. And then I'll Be Sure became his, he was obsessed. It seems like Diddy would be obsessed with men. He was obsessed with men.
It might be a couple of years now, but sooner or later, he's gonna get it. Well, Heavy D, Al Be Sure, they had all the money and all the power. I don't know what they did, but that's what I want to do.
He's very, very.
After Sean, I saw him. He had to go to the uptown.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot. Being in front of Willie Burgers on 45th and 8th, or being at rooftop.
So they're just really breaking down the beginning of hip hop, where it started and whatnot. I think I'm going to speed it up just a bit. So I think a lot of people admired him as a, people seemingly admired Sean Combs, Diddy, as a hustler, hard worker. I'm not a psychologist, but I feel like that's something else. I don't think that's work ethic. I think that's something else. They're talking about his relationship with Andre Harrell and how Andre Harrell just said, well, you know, Andre Harrell has now passed. But they're talking about how Andre Harrell had bought $1 million home, and that same weekend Puff mysteriously had a fight with his mother that same weekend. So he told Andre he needed to stay with him for that weekend. And Andre laughed and said, Puff moved in before I did. Looking back, what do you think that is? This is Andre Harrell, of course, in the glasses with the lighter lens, and you know the other man in the photo.
Melvin's presence was there. Money was there, and I understood that Melvin made a lot of things possible. But George's mom was with everything. If you get back some of the early pictures that Janice has of George.
What turns somebody into this? Are you born like this? What turns you into this person?
I think she's trying to overcompensate for the father to be born by making them into his name.
So Kirk Burrows, the co-founder, is saying that Janice, Puff's mom, overcompensated for. This is very true, but for a lot of mothers, that the fathers aren't in the home due to either a breakup, divorce, or they wasn't ever together, or the father decided to leave and abandon the children. A lot of women overcompensate, thinking that they need to do double, or they need to like have this strange, overly supportive relationship, which I don't think is beneficial to the children in any way. But let's keep going.
Yeah, she always came up. And the time that she put up, you know, on the brain tag, she did it now. He was mad. You know, he was good. Don't you feel like that? I tell you something about all. Nobody took the call. So you knew he was 55 years old. His household. He was a little different. I got some play. And then we had these movies we watched. This shot was filmed called Black Exploitation.
Mm. They're saying that Janice Combs really kind of watched a lot of Black exploitation films. And if you know what that is, they're this like overly pimp hoe-ish kind of films about these like Magic Don Juan, people like that. This is very interesting. Yeah. So they're saying, although he was watching this on TV, he was actually living it in real life because this was his mother's lifestyle as well. So it's like the mom also was doing these things in the home. And I think that's very interesting. Mm.
He said I would be 12 years old. And sometimes I'd be out because you feel more. Same, nothing. Yeah.
Mm. So she was also a fist wielding mother. After raising, this is also weird to me. I just don't understand how people become this dark, this evil, this vile, and that really, really is interesting. So, hmm. They're saying how he used to fight as a child, that it would be so brutal that Sean, if he was in a fight with you, he could open your neck with his teeth. He would bite your ear off. Like he's not losing a fight, but his mother instilled in him, you don't lose a fight. And I think that's such a strange dynamic because it also lends to the relationship that a lot of boy moms have with their sons, is that you have to be strong, you have to be tough because you're the man of the house. And that man in the house always has like a blurred line. Not saying that it's romantic, but it is I don't know if enmeshment is the correct word, but there's a blurred line, very blurred. Let me see if I can get this microphone right, y'all. I took a late night nap. Late night nap. So now I'm here just up and talking. But let's keep going because I got it on 1.5 times. I might speed it up a little bit more. I wonder if men are excusing his behavior and blaming. I've noticed that men, they look for someone else to blame than Diddy. It was Cassie's fault. Now with this documentary, most of the men are saying this is Janice's updoing. This is Janice's doing because of his upbringing. And instead of saying, there's a lot of times when we have these conversations about, oh, single parents, you were raised by a single mom, or this, you were raised by this, you were raised by that. At some point, we have to acknowledge Diddy is 50 years old. This is not a baby boy that people need to protect and look for something else to say, right? This is an adult male who is making horrible decisions.
People were tracking mud through the house, and when we looked at the night, I was helping clean up the mud. Puppy was like, great, and I, thank you for helping him. And he asked me, oh, wow, I just got this holding or someone.
I'm sorry, I'm still here. I'm just trying to see if my video is still live. I don't know why it's acting like I'm not live. I'm live, baby. Oh, here we go.
I went along. And I never had the same clothes on from the night before. The music video was called Straight from Soul. Like the next and sequence. And whole comes was for me to jump out the car and go with themselves and get it done. They can't find me.
I see that this guy really wanted to be the talent and the boss.
Someone called me up and told me that he said, he has good. And I said, what? And that's me. It's vibrant.
One of his first victims, Joy Dickerson, Neal, sued Sean and claimed he had drugged her and assaulted her and recorded it on video. This is really devastating to watch, the number of victims this one person had, because he went forever unchecked. Went forever unchecked.
I just found this recently.
Okay, so her mother wrote a letter to the parents of Sean Combs because he was still a child.
One weekend while visiting my daughter, I woke to her screaming in the middle of the night. She told me that she was dreaming about Puffy. I asked her why she was screaming and who was this Puffy person who would cause her to have nightmares. I was shocked and mortified to hear her story. She told me that several people have come to her to inform her that your son has made an obscene videotape of her. Without her knowledge, he videotaped him doing something sexual to her. Apparently, your son shows these tapes at parties on large screen television. I realized that this may be hard for you to believe, but if I hadn't heard this story from my daughter's own mouth and looked into her eyes, I would have scarcely believed that any individual would compromise another person's dignity in this manner.
So the victim's parents, one of his first victims, wrote a letter. She told her parents, she woke up in the middle of the night screaming. She told her parents it was about Puffy and about this tape that he's apparently been showing at parties that involves her and him in some type of act. And she, after her parents passed, I believe she said after her parents passed, she found a letter that her mother wrote to his family, his mother and father.
I put one like this. You take girls, they reach out and sex me. And then on Saturday night, you might bring this camera and put it in the door. And everyone knows that's so-and-so's girl. But so-and-so, I want to be looked upon in that way, as someone that has that type of stature.
He's following all of like the worst of society.
And that gave his father a mythic presence. People like alcohol. You look at those guys with certain amount of jealousy or envy, certain amount of respect. If there's a certain amount of desire, that fades him in from
Diddy is disgusting. I mean, like, foul. Like, how do people like this live? And then she said she ran into him many years later. He got on his knees and was swearing he never did this. It was unchecked for so long. And I don't think whatever he got, 50 months, 60 months, whatever that was, I don't think that's fair. So it appears that he will spend 50 months, 50 months in jail. 50 months is not long enough to me for this type of behavior. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking for my water. It's right here. So he threw this infamous City College basketball game in Harlem where a bunch of people were trying to exit the game, and another unchecked event with Diddy. Another unchecked event with Diddy in which people were hurt and killed. Mm. So these people were trying to rush into an event or out of an event. The doors opened inward and not out. So people were at the door, but you can't open the door because people are pushing against you. So people are like being crushed amongst the door. Mm. 9 people that passed away at this charity basketball game at City College that puffed through. And then people just kept boosting his fame, boosting his fame, boosting his fame like it never ended. The fame never ended. He was always able to finesse and finagle his way out of situations, which I think is, can't even tell you how I feel about that. Hmm. So Sean was at the, I mean, he wasn't literally at the door crushing people, of course, we know that, but he was the organizer of the event. Again, I just don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. But ooh, something so I don't even, I can't properly respond because I know what I will say would be very offensive and hurtful. But it's disgusting. It is disgusting the way some people are able to skate by, not as unchecked as Diddy, but close. Close. Now they're talking about how Jodeci was introduced to Puff after he worked with Heavy D, I'll Be Sure, as an intern. Now Puff was getting his own record, his own managing responsibilities, and Jodeci was the first group he would manage on his own.
He was able to spark the community and culture and package it. And he did the same thing. So wasn't a producer where he could tell you, you need a C, you know, a C note, or this is a better. But he did have a good ear for what could he have been. At the rooftop in Harlem, the DJ used to do it with mix. I could throw some R&B songs with hard hip hop mix. And it becomes crazy at the club. That's what Sean did with Josie on those remixes. It was very minimal. It was very hard beat and snare. Josie records started climbing the charts.
So they're talking about how Puff, his influence on music was from DJ Brucey B, who was a DJ in New York City, and that's where you kind of got this R&B with a hip hop beat, which created the sounds of like the Jodeci and the Mary J. Blige. And they're calling it all like pretty groundbreaking stuff that happened. And of course it was. It was like the sound of the 90s. Like everybody has talked about it. This is the beginning of hip hop soul, is what they're calling it on this documentary. Hip hop soul.
Yes, need to do Mary Blige intro before now. I did that for him, and then all of a sudden he came back. I thought it was a continuing friendship until I see that this game is being played. You gotta do that. Lisa, you just trying to put her after you broke up.
Oh.
Sure, because Eric was that dude. It was about, I got her. I was
so Eric Sermon is in the documentary because Eric Sermon was Misa Hilton's boyfriend. Eric Sermon got a call from Diddy that he wanted Diddy to do the intro on Mary J. Blige's What's the 411 album. So Eric Sermon thought him and Diddy were friends after this, but in hindsight, he sees that Diddy is really after Misa Hilton. And Misa and Eric had recently broke up. Interesting. Actually, not. Well, Misa and Diddy ended up having a child, which is Justin, the lighter complected, taller baby.
Does that make you part of a Sean Cody's cult? Maybe so. I may have been the first disciple, believer, and then overall protector against all odds.
I'm not surprised at the level of protection that this man was able to receive from his surroundings and his community, because look, even still, we're in 2025, and look at how people, or 2024 when the Cassie video came out, look at how people treated her. Hmm.
Everybody now looking for this kid. Because they all have artists, they have to get to the top of the chart. Who's a video person? You think I'm still gonna be like yes ma'am, no ma'am, thank you very much.
This is so such good tea. Oh, my bang is poking out. Let me try to fix my hair. There we go. There we go. Hair looks good now.
Andre called me into his office. He tells me just like this. Yo, it's 5 o'clock. What? He said that I was like, seriously, that. So we sick. And I was like, that's sick. And so I called her. And he said, yeah, I got it.
So this is they found Biggie. Andre Harrell fired Diddy from Uptown Records, and he really became obsessed with the hip hop that was going on the West Coast with Dre, Suge Knight, and Snoop. Oh wow!
But now, you know, find a way to control it. You really all the time. You know, not say you never have to say Columbia. And then you definitely find things at Allison. Everybody knows it on a first name basis.
So Puff Daddy was taking Biggie and Biggie's first album to Clive Davis to get it done at Arista Records. This is Clive and Diddy. When is the Clive Davis documentary coming out? Mm. So what happened was when Bad Boy was founded, the money from Clive Davis, who was now backing Biggie's first project, Diddy started Bad Boy with 75% in his mother Janice's name and 25% in Kirk Burroughs' name, the co-founder of Bad Boy. Diddy did this so that he wouldn't have to pay the families because he was liable for the city college basketball game in which 9 people passed away. And Kirk is saying, "Oh, now I see who this guy is. Now you see. Now you see. This is what I be talking about. This is what I be talking about, y'all. This is what I be talking about. They have the ability to be horrible human beings and receive the most protection you could imagine. Let's keep going because we're about 10 minutes left.
I think that he had this thing with standing and like put it like but not position to be one street of that, but position to be a Vegas street. And we call that a paper face.
Yeah, they called him a paper gangster because he want to be a gangster in the streets, but he can't because nobody takes a Puff Daddy serious as far as violence or muscle or being, strong arming somebody. Hmm. But if you have the money to pay people to be your enforcement, then, you know, you feel validated and you feel like you are tough. Hmm. This is so interesting. Okay. So they start to release Biggie's music mainstream, and then they find that Pac is still top of the charts, and they want to figure out how to get that pop flair, that Tupac flair and Tupac popularity behind Biggie. So they do everything that Pac does. So Pac and Biggie were very close. Looks like they were friends. Pac was very excited about the album release party. Pac said, "Man, I gotta go. We all going from the West Coast. We're gonna support." These people were friends. They should have been. When you have talent and you have superstardom and you have people around you like a Diddy, and Diddy is talking about how Big trusted him, trusted him, trusted him, and he was just a nasty snake, waiting for the moment to strike, like in every situation, waiting to strike, waiting to strike. 50 months is not long enough. 50 months is not long enough. I'm sorry. Hmm. We're about 4 minutes done. They're talking about how Pac was threatening to. It says the City College incident was the ability to get away with anything, and then the backing from Clive Davis was the money to finance anything. And he was unstoppable. This guy should have been taken down a long time ago.
Do you know who was responsible for killing Tupac Shakur? No, I don't. I think they're showing that the mature mind had a lot to do with the death of Tupac.
Kirk Burroughs is now claiming that Diddy had something to do with Pac's death. And of course, I mean, we've all speculated that. Diddy has, of course, denied it, but who would say, yeah, I did it. So that was just episode 1, and it says season 1, but I'm not sure if I've heard about this being more than these 4 episodes. That was very interesting to watch. Let me just check really quick to see how many seasons we're expecting from. It might be just this Diddy documentary. Yes, sorry, it is 4 parts. So there aren't any other episodes. We'll hop back on tomorrow and watch episode 2. Maybe we'll do 2 and 3 tomorrow, and then do 4 on Tuesday. And then, well, that was very interesting, though. I just can't. Maybe because I'm a bit naive, and I don't know. I just can't see how someone could be so evil, so unchecked, and so rewarded. He was rewarded at every step for his behavior, no matter how big of a monster, no matter who his victim was, no matter how famous the other person was. Diddy was able to go unchecked and do anything. Excuse me. Diddy was able to go unchecked and do anything that he wanted to do. And that blows my mind, because the level of ignoring bad behavior by this circle, by the culture, by the country, because he was this guy that could do like this shoulder thing and dance. I mean, like, he was the devil. He was the devil. He was the devil. Anyway, thank you all for hanging out. Please subscribe to my channel when you're done watching this. Leave your thoughts in the comments. If you watched the Diddy documentary, don't spoil it, because we're going to do episodes 2 and 3 tomorrow. It is very late now. I took a nap early today because I was just so tired. I got some new tech stuff in, which I'm very excited about. I guess I'll show y'all the one piece of tech I got in. It's this very cool camera. I love this. It's a vlogging camera. And it does the coolest stuff. You can literally just spin it around. It has a gimbal and a face tracker. I thought it was so cool. So I stayed up late last night playing with it. So Sunday, I was up and I was so tired. But I'm able to mount it to my camera here. I need to actually maybe charge it, but I have my digital camera, my Sony camera mounted here that I'm talking to you guys on, and I have this camera. I'm going to try to see if I can stream on StreamYard from that camera as well. But anyway, I finished my water. Completely finished my water. And I am done for the night. I wish you all the best. Hope to see you again soon. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I love you so much. Bye.